boom, ch, boom, 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 ch, boom, ch, boom, 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 ch, boom, ch, boom, 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 ch. Maya, show some books.
Hi, my name is Maya Strobbe. I'm an artist, a visual artist, and a publisher. And I publish books under the name RAMSDAM Books. As you can see here, it's written like this, RAMSDAM Books. And today, for the Fanzineist Vienna program thing, I'm giving a bit of a presentation of a part of my work, which is single copies. And single copies are books that I've made, unique books that I've made, kind of as an experimental practice next to my publishing practice. So these are books that I make with like no intention of like producing them in like big numbers, or no intention of like making them, I don't know, presentable or whatever. They're really just experiments, sometimes prototypes, but I mainly make these when I feel like I have an idea that I want to investigate a bit, or sometimes I'm playing around and I make a book kind of by accident, and so yeah, it's all different type of stuff. I used to have a deadline for myself every 2 weeks to make one of these books. Now I don't do it anymore because it was too much pressure. But I've made, throughout the years, I've made around like 60 of these unique book ideas things called single copies. And today I'm going to show you a couple of them. I think maybe around 20 of them. And so, yeah, that's it. We're going to get started. So, yeah, I'm just going to start. So, this one is a good one to start with because it's already falling apart. So it's a good example of why these are like not meant to be like published really. They're really just experiments. So this is a small one with a super cute cover of a dog in a car. And this is just like leftover prints that I had left of my drawings that I cut up into pieces. And so you have like these fragments that are, yeah, you see, it's really falling apart. Fragments of drawings. I kind of like this idea. What I like the best about this one is that it has the little flaps here, and also the rounded corners. That's super cute, I think. And this idea, I kind of repeated this, but in a more extreme form in this book. This is also prints of drawings, but I printed them on an A3 format, which is kind of big. It's the double of an A4, and so and then I cut them into pieces and glued them back together. So you always have like a random like fragment of a drawing. And here I really liked the result because I was getting fed up at the time with how figurative my drawings had become. So I felt like I lost the the gift of being able to make abstract work. I always ended up making figurative stuff, and so by cutting up my drawings, I was able to find some abstraction in a playful way. And this is one of the single copies that ended up becoming a publication that I made like for real. I made 100 of these in they're slightly different, but the idea is the same, and the shape and form and the size and stuff is the same. They're for sale. You can check out my Instagram where all of my books are for sale. It's at RAMSDAM Books. Voila. Yeah. Next one is old. It's from 2017, and it's called Inventory of Colored Pencils and Crayons that were in my box on September 10th, 2017 by Maya Strobbe. Here I just made, an inventory of all of my colored pencils. And I remember not really liking this book when I had just made it, because it's a bit lame. I mean, it's a bit, I don't know, conceptual, but also not so interesting to look at. However, only a couple of weeks after making this book, my stuff got stolen, and also my crayons and my pencils got stolen. And so, yeah, I had this book, and so I just went to the store and was able to make an exact kind of copy of my box with pencils and crayons, just because I had this guideline. That was great. That was useful. Okay, next one, it's called Small House, Big House. Something I really like this idea. I really want to do this. It's the idea of somehow a small kind of object that folds out to be a really big poster in the shape of a house, and it would have to say like small house, and then when it's folded out it would have to say big house, but the house would be used twice to make like this small house and the big house, and then it should be folded in a very smart way. And I cannot do it. I don't have the patience, I don't have the vision. And so, if you feel like you could do it and you would like to think about how to fold this thing or to make this thing so it's like a bit smart and like it all like folds in the right way, please be my guest and like write me and we can make it happen. But now we cannot, or I cannot. So I will show it. So it's supposed to be a bit of like a house with a roof, and then with a little door here, and then it's supposed to say big house. I'm sorry, this is chaotic. Big house, and then here it says small, but it's upside down and stuff, like small house or something. I don't know. I mean, you get the idea. I really like the idea of it, but I just cannot make it work. Again, if you have the vision, please contact me. This one, I really like the idea. This is a book with 365 high fives. So the idea is that you really use it during 1 year, and you just like give yourself a high five, or like give the book a high five every day of the year, and then like you can rip off the page and use it as, I don't know, whatever. Just throw it out or use it as a to-do list or whatever. And I really like the idea. However, I don't like the image that I used because it's a bit scary. I just made a scan of my hand, and I think it would work better if I would have made a picture of my hand. But it's a good idea. I like it. Yeah. This one is kind of a rainbow, a car rainbow. So this is a shape that I draw a lot in my drawings. It's like a weird perspective car shape. Car in a weird perspective shape. I don't know if you see it. And so I made just like these cutouts, and I really like them, and then I just was trying to find a way to hold them together, and I made this cute little thing. Yeah, I like it. And then with the leftovers of this one, I made another one. Where is it though? This one. So these are, you can see how they fit together in a way. So yeah, it's the leftover shapes. So you can see that the cars, come on, they fit like this. So I had all of these leftover shapes, and I felt kind of bad for the leftovers, because I was like, you're also nice shapes, and I don't want to throw you away, but I don't want to put you in my box of like leftover papers because you're too many and you're too much of the same shape. So I made a book out of it again, and this is just a book of shapes. Talking about my box with leftover papers, I made also a book about this one. A lot of my single copies are like collections that I have that I just copied into and bundled into some kind of zine, because it's nice material to work with. And when I'm experimenting with bookmaking techniques or like shapes of a book, whatever's inside is not really so important, and it's nice to have some content, because it's always my problem. I have so many things that I want to try, like form-wise and shape-wise, and then I don't know what to put inside, and then I have to think about it. It goes much slower for me to figure out what to put inside of a book than to figure out how I want the book to look or whatever. So that's why collections are always easy, and they come in handy. So this is a box, stuff that was in my little cardboard box with cutouts and little pieces of paper that I liked. So these are just photocopies. But I did something special with the book. As you can see, it's just like a kind of zine with two staples in the back. But I used just A4 paper, but I folded it in a weird way. You will see it later on. I didn't fold it in half. I folded it a bit more to the side. So, and then I kind of pieced them together. I alternated the direction of the paper, and so you have short pages and long pages, and so they make a really interesting viewing experience. I think it's kind of like almost the same effort as just making a normal zine, but you have something interesting happening. I also really like to work with coincidences when it comes to making my books in general, and also my practice in general. So the way that these pages are following each other up, I don't know how to say this in English, the page, I don't know, it's the way that one page comes after the other, but then like in one word, you know the word probably. This is mainly like a coincidence. I just kind of put them together, and then you have like these super nice, beautiful things that happen like this, where they just kind of meet each other. That's nice. Then there's this one, also one that's falling apart already. This is a drawing that I had in an exhibition, and the drawing was printed there a couple of times, and people could visit the exhibition and color in the drawing. Like, that was the basic idea. And I collected all of these things that people did with my drawing, and I bundled them into this coloring book. So you always have the same drawing, but colored in a different way. I like how it's repetitive but never the same. Yeah, so that's like part one, and then It used to be one piece, but now it's a bit broken. This one's really nice. So this one is 2018. Sometimes I write it in the back and sometimes I forget. This one is 2019 because it says it so on the cover. I was on a holiday and I wanted to make a book, or I had to make a book because back in the day I gave myself these deadlines and I didn't have any materials with me, so I bought this Puzzle Giganti thing, an Italian puzzle magazine, crossword puzzle magazine, and I just used this to draw my usual geometric drawings. And then I gave up pretty quickly. I love this cover. It's beautiful. Wow. Then I have these ones. These are the special thanks single copies. I have 3 of them, and these are books I make when I feel really bad. When I feel sad and I feel maybe super anxious or depressed, which happens often, but sometimes it's like really, really tough for a while. And then I started making these books as a way of kind of meditating and creating at the same time, and making also some kind of how would I say, it's a bit like a diary entry. Or a snapshot of a certain period in my life. And so this is where I just sit by my printer with my computer in my lap, and I just type something that I'm thankful for or grateful for, and I print it out, and then I delete it again, and I write something else, I print it out, I delete it again. And so it's very, very repetitive action. It takes a long time. Like, I think this book took me, 3 or 4 hours of doing this thing, and then also the printer makes this sound, and it's a bit of a shitty job, a shitty office job, but also it's meditative, and it really makes you think. Like, the first 50 are easy, and then you really have to think, you have to really reflect on your life and all the different parts of it, and then you will find stuff that you're grateful for, and it's super nice to be able to have them all bundled into one book, and to be able to flip through them and to see how you evolve and stuff. So these are really simple. You always just have one thing on the right page. And so when you read through it, it kind of feels like a poem. So there's stuff inside like having many choices, my dad doing that stuff, overcooked spaghetti, a Christmas tree still up in May, a funny hat, 9 hours of sleep, seeing that you have like a fun card in the mail but you don't have time to check, so you have to wait until the evening. Nervous animal feels safe with me at party. Then there's a lot of names of people and places and stuff that I have, and moments. So it's a really nice collection. And so I made this a couple of times already. So this one is from 2019, May 2019. And then there's this one. From January 2021. This one is a bit different. And then this one is quite recent. Yeah, it's not even a month old. So it's kind of become a practice in its own, like making these books, because I know what to do, like I know how it works, so it's not stressful for me to figure out how to do it. But then, like when I have a period of time where I have like a lot of anxiety, I'm maybe having some worries and stuff, and this last one I made after like 2 days of panic attacks, and I just kind of knew what I had to do to ground myself back into reality, like in a peaceful way or in a positive way. So this one is neon pink, but you can definitely tell that I have become less and less thankful throughout these 3 books. I don't know if it's a coincidence. I'm really looking forward to the next one. Hopefully it will be a bit bigger. Okay, next one is also one that ended up being published as an edition. So I also made, like, in the end I made 100 of these in a slightly different form. But this is an overview of my collection of little round sticker dots. I have a lot of them. I use them a lot in my drawings. And so this is a Leporello book, so like, you know, like an accordion shape, a zigzag. And you can just flip through the pages like this, and then you can see like an overview of my stickers. But also you can grab the handle and like pull it up, and then a rainbow unfolds. Voila. And it's a bit of a performative book as well, because it's really hard to look at it yourself, to show it to yourself in its full glory. So it really helps if you have someone there to show it to you. So in the final edition that I made, the one that's a bit different than this one, it also has instructions of like, just like make a friend or something, or like get a friend and stand opposite to each other, like face each other, and then take turns showing the book to each other. So like put the book on the ground, pull it up, show it to each other, like take a bit of time for it, and then like you can close it again and like take turns. And I called it a book to make friends with, which usually my books don't really have titles, but sometimes they do. This one is really, really small. I made this during a workshop where you could only draw with like one pen or pencil and these stencil drawing things, like these plastic things with shapes cut out of them. And so I made some kind of fun racetrack for this little ball. So the book can be used in different ways. So like it folds open, and then stuff happens, and then you can look at it like this, but also like this, and then in the back something happens, and then this is the end. This was a nice experiment. Could be nice to make a really big book like this. I might do this in the future. This one's called It Is What It Is. This I also made during a workshop where we had an assignment, and the assignment was to make a book, to make a comic where there's no text, there's no characters, there's only objects, and also nothing really happens in the comic. And so this was like a zine making workshop, and when I heard the assignment I was like, oh yeah, okay, like that's my work, like I can do this, I know how to do this. So this is almost like an archetypical, like an archetype of a book of mine, or like how I would make a comic, like nothing really happens. Yeah, so it's called It Is What It Is, and it's just a chair. It's just a chair. This one is also from 2018, which is a period of time where I was giving myself these 2-week deadlines, and also I was working full-time in a restaurant, so I didn't have a lot of time. And so some of these books are just like me really like running through the coffee shop and just like throwing something on the scanner and putting some staples inside and then just like calling it a book. So these are also, again, just like scans of stickers. But it's here, I always discover new things, because here I didn't have time, or like, I don't know, energy, I don't remember, to figure out how to make the how to print on the other side of the paper, so they're all like just like one-sided prints. But then I really liked how it changed the rhythm of the book to have these one-sided prints, and like the one part of the book, the first part has the printed part on the right side, and then the second part of the book has prints on the left side, and it's just like really simple, and it's a really nice way to let something practical or something coincidental dominate your book design, which I really try to make space for always. Also, like this middle page, which is like the spread, the holy spread, it's empty, and I really like that, because it's a bit of an accidental statement. And the thread in the middle, it's yellow like the cover. That's nice. This one is one of my favorites. So this is a book that I made during the time of the elections, but like the small scale elections, I don't know how to call them, like the city council elections in Belgium. And so we were getting a lot of elections spam in the mail, in the physical mail. So like all the political parties would make like these flyers with all these faces inside of the politicians, and I really liked to collect them because it was fun. So I started cutting them out and ordering them like on pages, and it really grew as a collection during a couple of weeks. So I was really, really happy because it really changed my view on the political situation. Because I could really let go of my frustrations. For example, if I would get a flyer from a party that I really didn't like or I didn't agree with, or normally it would frustrate me, or I would be angry, or I would feel sad. But now I could be like happy, like, hey, oh, this guy, I have his face already 5 times, and now I have it 6 times. Like, that's great. And I don't know, it's like collecting seashells or rocks or whatever, and then just putting them in a specific order that makes sense to you. And so this guy I have a lot of times. I don't know who he is. And also it was kind of nice to be able to place all of these people together and make them form like different alliances or something. It felt fun. It felt a bit like playing God or something. These are the black and white images. People with glasses. these are the tiny, tiny faces. I don't even know if you will be able to see them, but yeah. And doing this was like so much fun, and it inspired me to make a much bigger publication much later on. Recently it came out, and it's called Megamix 2019. And I did something similar to this with all of the images from my phone archive of the year 2019. So it's like a massive book. It's more than 500 pages of basically this stuff. A bit more. I was a bit more like working with fragments instead of just faces or whatever. But it was definitely inspired by this book. Then again, some experiment with like drawing with shapes, with these drawing stencils, these plastic drawing stencils. I remember this was made in just like in one sitting, quite quickly. And also this, I really discovered this, as you can see, as a way to quickly make a cover image without having to print stuff or draw on the cover. So it's kind of a foolproof way to have an interesting cover without, taking risks. Yeah. And this is a book I made during a residency. Where I did not know what to do. I had like a 1 month residency, and there was kind of the expectation that we would do something special or something, and I really didn't know where to start, and I didn't have any ideas, so I just went to a second-hand store and bought a lot of books with cats inside, because I like cats, and then I started cutting them out, and I was going crazy. Like, it was a huge residency space, and the floor was just like filled with all these cutouts of cats, and then I still didn't know what to do with it. I was having a lot of fun, but I didn't really know what direction to go. And so I ended up, just like the book I just showed you with the faces, the pink one, this one. I ended up just like finding a way to categorize them, and I distilled some pages out of this. So these are printed pages that are made to look a bit like a collage. And yeah, so this was also my first experiment with these really sturdy cardboard pages. I'm really proud of this one. So yeah, there's the cats fighting on the cover. Anti-climax, right? Like, nothing's inside. Haha. Voila. So that was it for today. Yeah. Thanks for watching. If you sat it all the way through, thanks a lot. Is there anything else I should say? Yeah, follow me on Instagram, buy my books, make books, have fun with it, and yeah, especially have fun with it. Every time I look back at this stuff, I feel really inspired and like more inspired than I do when I look at my serious, real published stuff, because there's so much fun in these books, and so much like impulsive decisions and experiments, and yeah. So yeah, okay, yeah, that's it. Yeah, okay. Bye.
I'll put it here. Boom, ch, boom, 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 ch, boom, ch, boom, 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 ch, boom, ch, boom, 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 ch. Maya, show some books. Bam.